Morning. Has anything changed in America? Well, we've had the vice presidential debates, found out Tim Walz is a good, decent man, not really prepped for the debates, though he did score points. J.D. Vance is the chameleon we always knew he was. When he's gotta be on good behavior, hey, he can be on good behavior and sound really logical. But make no mistake, J.D. Vance is not for you or me. No, sirree. I don't know how 11 million alien immigrants in the country now blossom to 20 or 25 million. This is news to me. I never heard of that number. I don't know how he can say that Donald Trump's presidency was so wonderful. I remember crying at least twice over his policies when he separated children from their parents, when he deported them. And I remember the scares of folks who were here legally and were afraid to be broken up from their families. I remember when I wanted Congress to shut down and help the DACA kids and the TIP people get a path to real citizenship, and it never happened. And then I remember the pandemic and Trump playing down the pandemic and how many people were dying and denying the fact that COVID was a severe disease. How quickly we all forget. Over 1 million people died in America. 250,000 probably didn't have to if vaccines hadn't been politicized. And that's true. There were no wars during the Trump administration, except for the one that he almost caused in America. The insurrection of January 6th, when he would not accept the presidency of Joe Biden. Are we forgetting? This was not a peaceful demonstration. This was an insurrection. And J.D. Vance last night would not even discuss the topic. Nor would he say that Trump lost the election, or what would happen now if Trump loses the election, which I hope with all my heart and soul he does. Because don't be fooled by Donald Trump. Yeah, he's right. There were no wars when he was president. I guess he must have spoken with his best bud, Putin, and said, "Don't you dare invade Ukraine until I'm gone." Because he's got that much power over Putin. I don't know how he feels about Iran, because Iran, Russia, and North Korea, they've got a bond of evil together. They're supplying each other with weapons, mass weapons. And China is a little on the fence. If we're lucky, with the alliances that Biden has built up over the last 4 years, you've got almost 3/4 of the nations aligned with America. We play our cards right. We let Zelensky do whatever he has to do to bring Putin to a real negotiating table, and we find out what the Ukrainians will settle for. We'll get peace in Ukraine. I'm not interested in Putin. Putin will be marginalized, and that's what he's afraid of, being marginalized. Why else is he stating now he's going to increase his military budget by 25%. And what happens to the Russian people? I guess he doesn't care. And then we've got Iran. Iran and its proxies. Well, looks like Israel was scared of the Lebanese Hezbollah proxies for years. Looks like so far there's nothing to be afraid of. And I'm not even sure that we have to be afraid of Iran. They're a divided country at this point. Nobody knows or trusts the other leaders in Iran. It is a state that is ready to crumble. So, let's see what happens. I'm hoping to see in this year, on the Jewish calendar of 5785, I'm hoping to see peace in my time. I'm also hoping, beyond hope, that you people, all my followers, will follow me and ask for decency. The folks who are looking to support Trump, the fossil fuel industry, what are they doing for us? They're lobbying and talking climate denial. Trump says it's a hoax. DeSantis turned down $750 million in aid for Florida residents. They know climate change is no hoax. One whole town wants to sell all their houses and get out of there. They don't want to be in the path of hurricanes anymore. And I don't blame them. 150 people lost their lives. 1.5 million people are without power and water. Places that we never thought would be subject to climate heating are now subject to it. Look at the terrible photographs of Asheville, that wonderful cultural center in the mountains. And it's devastated. And folks lost their lives in Virginia. So, what is the most important thing that we can do is vote for a president who will tackle climate change, who will give labor more money. The longshoremen are on strike, and Biden is not forcing them to the table. He thinks they deserve what they're asking for: benefits, better hours, wages, because the monopolies in this country are just making too darn much profit. Profit at our expense. And they say to us, oh, well, there's not enough money for health care or for Social Security. You're going to have to tap the wealthy. You're going to have to tax them. We can't afford to do what Trump says, which is lower the corporate tax rate still further. We got to increase it back up to at least 28%. We're also going to have all those people who are making millions and billions pay taxes into FICA so that we can fund not only our Social Security and our health care and our child care, but we can fund our infrastructure as well. There's a lot of money out there, and the billionaires are lining up behind Trump. And they're not doing it for the good of the nation. They're doing it so that we can be an authoritarian theocracy, as far as Dunn is concerned, as far as Leonard Leo's concerned. It's everything is for the corporate welfare. Well, we can't afford it. It's about time the government got itself involved in research and development. Or we didn't tax research and development heavily so that folks who are entrepreneurs can actually get seed money to develop new industries to help us overcome climate warming. Nepal lost 200 people in their flooding. Mount Everest is growing, along with the fourth and fifth highest mountains in the Himalayas, or on this planet. Why? Because the Earth's crust is sinking and the mountains are growing. We got problems, and there is no choice. You can't vote for Trump. You can't vote for Trump and his empty promises because, just like J.D. Vance, he's in a suit. They'll tell you what you want to hear. And that's not good enough, folks. And fact-checking what they say is appropriate. Censorship of misinformation is appropriate. I want to know the facts. You and I should see one reality. There should be no division across the country. Only you and me together trying to make a living. And based on the course I took on the new green economy, when you go solar, wind, nuclear, hydrogen power, you're increasing the number of people who must work. You're doubling those who worked in coal or gas or oil. Think about it. There's a lot of change happening, and it's making a lot of folks feel very unsettled. But just don't push the lever for the billionaires and the monopolies. Push it for real people, other decent people who can work together to give us better schooling, better wages, better child care, better health care, and the infrastructure that we need to build to mitigate and stop climate warming. I wish everyone a better new year.